All right, good morning, everyone. On my way to the clinic, and I wanted to have a little commentary on a Facebook comment that someone left yesterday. A guy named Andre, I believe. And I will tag him, or I will send him a link to this after this is done so that we can get his feedback on this. So this is just a nice, open discussion, and I wanted to use that as an opportunity to make a Facebook Live and probably repurpose this as a podcast. So first off, if you want to know more about the systems that we've put together, that we have a ton of chiropractors using all over the country and really all over the world, a couple in the UK and China, Australia, go to demo.movenowu.com and you can see how to put corrective exercise and functional movement into a chiropractic practice, sanctifying segment, posture, and movement, which is a perfect segue into responding to the Facebook comment that I got yesterday. So the Facebook comment yesterday was on a Facebook post that I have running right now as a paid ad, okay? So why do I do this? Well, I have a paid ad because I'm trying to resonate with more chiropractors that are looking for this component in their clinic. Like, they already have a solid adjusting platform, they have all their systems down, but they know they want to do that one extra thing and tie it all together for their patients to really transition them into building strength, because really building strength is what's going to keep your spine healthy. And I think we all agree, healthy spine, healthy life, right? So you have to have strength to really have a healthy spine. There's no other way around it. So now here's what this guy said on this Facebook post that I have that I'm running as an ad. And again, I'm running as an ad because I'm trying to find those chiropractors out there that resonate with this message, because the goal of this is to link us up all together so that we can see who we are, and we're trying to build an actual movement, like a movement. And I stole that from someone else. I didn't come up with that. A movement. But here's what this guy said. He saw this post and he made a comment and he said, "There's no way you're going to exercise spinal extensor muscles, deep spinal stabilizers, without first going through the iliacostalis longissimus," and then he put in something else, and I think he meant to say spinalis, but anyway, and then he used this analogy saying that strengthening the core is like having a crooked tent pole and adding a rope to it to stabilize it. So I want to discuss that because I thought that was a really interesting analogy, and I don't disagree with him. So Dr. Andre, if you're watching this, I don't disagree with you. I don't think exercise is going to fix a damaged posture. I don't. Which is precisely why in our system, as far as how we do things clinically, we address segment, posture, and movement. And that's precisely why I think that if you only address movement and you only use corrective exercise to deal with a patient that has a spinal issue, you're going to fall short, which is what a lot of our physical therapy colleagues do. And there's a couple deficiencies on the physical therapy end that I will speak to. And this is the majority. This is the majority of how physical therapists practice. This is not a stab at physical therapists at all, because a lot of PTs are extremely brilliant, and they're the ones that came up with a lot of this functional movement stuff and helped evolve this. However, they're a little bit handcuffed in their industry. They're only typically allowed to do what the referring medical doctor provider tells them to do. And so if a patient comes in and they have a shoulder issue, but they also have a thoracic mobility issue, and they have all kinds of issues like in their overhead deep squat and ankle mobility and all of this, none of that really can get addressed in that prescription. They can only focus on the shoulder. So are they really restoring an overall functional movement pattern to this person? No. That's one deficiency of that model of only leading with exercise. The second deficiency, okay, is that they're not a chiropractor. So they don't have rights to be able to take and analyze x-ray and understand how to look at biomechanics of structure or coupling patterns of the spine, things like that we as chiropractors have access to and is within our scope of practice. Doing things like chiropractic biophysics, doing things like specific Gonstead adjusting or upper cervical work, or whatever technique you as a chiropractor do that is specific and methodical. That is not a that is not a manipulation, which is what these physical therapists who have the rights to manipulate, that's what they do. It's all about, is the joint feel jammed up? Let's unjam it. Which yes, part of the reason that we adjust a joint is to improve motion, but it's also to do a lot of other stuff neurologically. And if that's something that, if you're a, subluxation denier or whatever title you want to say it is, that you deny that anything we do as chiropractors affects anything beyond a musculoskeletal complaint, well, maybe you just haven't practiced long enough, because I'm going on 17 years now, and there's tons of stuff that you will see happen when you start to change someone's spine, someone's alignment, someone's movement. It makes their body function better, okay? And there's just no doubt about it. So I'm not even going to argue that, because I feel like that's such a basic argument that, like, I'm freaking 10 miles past that right now. So now let's go back to this Andre guy. So Andre critiqued what we're doing on, I think, insufficient understanding of what we really do. I think he was assuming that I was one of those people that says chiropractic doesn't matter, you should just do exercises with your patients. That's not me. That's not what we teach. That's not who I'm trying to resonate with. I'm not trying to resonate with the type of chiropractor who is a self-hating chiropractor who wishes that they were a physical therapist or something else. That's really not what I'm trying to appeal to. I think our profession is amazing. I think chiropractic is an amazing gift that we have for humanity. However, I think there's certain limitations in what we can do with a segmental adjustment, depending on what our goals are for our patient. So back to his attempted stab at my Facebook ad, saying that if you just aim to strengthen the core, it's like tying a rope on a crooked tent pole, and the tent's gonna be all jacked up. Well, here's how we look at things from a clinical standpoint. Let's just take you through the analysis of how a patient comes in. Let's just talk about a patient I had yesterday that came in who has been to a pretty decent chiropractor, someone who I actually know. So I know that she was getting good adjusting, but she has a 3-level fusion in her cervical spine. All right. She has a severe thoracic hyperkyphosis. Looks like a Scheuermann's kyphosis. I haven't analyzed the x-rays up close yet because we took them yesterday and they were marked up, and I need to take a look at them this morning. So probably a Scheuermann's kyphosis. Has horrible low back pain, neck pain, mid back pain, radiating pain into her arms. Posture is a mess. Posterior chain completely disengaged. Feels exhausted if she sits for any amount of time working because she just hangs on her joints, hangs on her bones. And so now that's a perfect example of someone that in a vacuum, if you just address the segmental component, you will never fix her. So on that note, she's had the segmental component addressed by a great chiropractor, and she gets very, very temporary relief. So she was referred into us by another patient of ours who had a severe thoracic hyperkyphosis with a rod surgery. Her sister had a severe thoracic hyperkyphosis, was told she had a Scheuermann's. We were able to reduce her thoracic curve like 20 degrees, tremendously change her posture, change any sort of symptom or pain issue she had, improve all of her functional outcomes because we measure this stuff. Like, a little side note, like a saying that we tell our patients, and I like to talk to other doctors about, what gets measured gets managed. If you're not measuring it, you're not managing it, and then you got your tunnel vision on, you're not responsible for it, so you can just plead ignorance and say, oh, I'm just doing what chiropractors do because that's straight chiropractic, and I'm just adjusting the segment of the spine, and that's all I do, and then the rest is up to nature. Well, guess what? Nature, there's a thing in nature called gravity. Gravity is going to win if you have a weakened structure. The structure is going to collapse, and that patient is relying on you to be able to do something to help teach that patient to strengthen the integrity of their spine, remodel the shape of the spine if it's warranted. They're counting on you to do it. They're not going to find it from anyone else. They're going to give up and go have multiple surgeries, get hooked on opioid pain medications, take 12 to 16,000 milligrams of ibuprofen a day, however much people are taking of that garbage. That's no way to live. And so back to this comment again that Andre had. Yes, Andre, if you have a totally dysfunctional spinal structural issue and all you're going to do is throw an exercise at the person without addressing the segmental component or the postural component, or even understand postural coupling patterns, or do in-office or at-home spine remodeling traction, postural corrective exercises, functional movement postural corrective exercises, measuring movement patterns and then fixing those, getting the patient to move into a strengthening regimen to start to activate, strengthen, and enhance these stabilizing muscles. If you're not doing that, yep, I agree, there's going to be a problem. My question to you though, Andre, is do you do that with your patients? Is that what you're doing? Or are you in the camp of, I'm just a quote unquote straight chiropractor, so I don't have to have the responsibility to know these things for my patient. So what I'm going to do to make myself feel better and justify my own existence is I'm going to poke stabs at other people. Now, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to assume that you don't know anything about what we promote or what we do clinically, and you probably just assume that I'm preaching, just do exercise and exercise is going to fix everything. Under that assumption, I think your comment is totally warranted. But here's what I would tell you as just some friendly chiropractor to chiropractor advice. Know your audience, okay? Know who you're talking to. Understand what it is you're critiquing before you critique it. Because hopefully now, if you've listened to this message, and anyone else out there that needed clarity on what we talk about or how this works or whatever, just know that that's not what we stand for. That's not how it works. We've taken an oath, I guess I should say, a responsibility to do our best for our patients. So we studied day and night as several year postgraduate chiropractors. I'm almost 17 years in at this point. I'm still learning every day. I'm still trying to improve outcomes for our patients. I think at this point we have pretty darn good outcomes, and I would put our programming next to any other chiropractor out there, and I think that we could hang with the best, and I would even say we probably have a superior approach as far as clinically than most out there, and we don't take away from chiropractic principles either. So it really works for both camps. It works for the straight chiropractors who really want to preserve what we do with specific adjusting. We do very specific adjusting. We do Gonstead. We gown and scope every single patient. Full spine analysis. Skin on skin palpation every single time. I check every patient to see if they need to be adjusted before I adjust them. So we do a very thorough job with our patients. And we also have a very specific postural approach. If a patient's a candidate for spine remodeling traction, we're doing it with them. We're giving them guidance as far as what to do with home care. We built an online program that all of our Move Now doctors get access to called the 12-Week Transformation, which is really a resource for our patients to be able to turn to for their home care and for care outside of the clinic and after they're done with their intensive corrective phases of care, so that we can actually help them change the way they're living and not just change them temporarily. We built a program called Move Well Kettlebell, and we use kettlebells as a repatterning and strengthening tool to try to motivate these patients once they fix their problem, once they get better spinal integrity and strength, to reinforce that with good functional strength training. This is what we train every single one of our patients to do, whether they're 15 years old or they're 80 years old. Okay, so that's what we stand for. And guess what? It takes a lot more work to do that. It takes a lot more dedication to be able to deliver that type of care. But you really can't unsee something once you see it, and this is something that I was made aware of. I saw how it was superior as far as clinical outcomes. I saw how patients really needed this and they benefited from it. So that's how we practice. That's how I'm going to do it until the end, and that's what we're promoting to other doctors. So we're not promoting to fix everything with an exercise and abandon everything in chiropractic or any sort of postural analysis or anything else that we do as chiropractors. Totally opposite of that, 100%. Hopefully this helps clarify that. And again, if you want to find out more about what we do, check out our demo. We have a 30-minute pre-recorded behind-the-scenes demo showing inside our program. I'm trying to park. I'm here now. Hope that helps. Comment below. Did I park well? No, I didn't. This is the first time I'm looking at the camera now because I'm just doing my audio. All right, so with that said, over and out. We'll see you on the next one. If If you have any questions or comments or challenges, bring it on. We're here.